to just come on here and say something real quick about the gas you're putting in your vehicle, especially if you're doing car life, van life, etc. It's important to know what your engine needs. What is the octane level it needs? Now, a lot of people think, oh, my car uses regular. So every gas, the regular is going to be okay. But that's not true. Especially what I found in Utah. Now, this vehicle takes 87 octane. And most of the places in Utah are 86. But some of them are 85. So, and also in New Mexico, a lot of the octane is 86, except for Valero. Valero has 87. The regular gas is 87 octane. So look at your manual. If you don't have the manual, look up your car online and find out what octane level it has, because if you don't use the right octane level, what you're going to do is foul your engine. And you don't want to foul your engine. Okay? And every 60,000 miles, you really want to change your, especially your antifreeze. Because if you don't, it turns acidic and starts tearing down your engine. So if you can afford, every 60,000 miles, change all of the fluids in your car, because your brake fluid will get water in it, okay? And your transmission fluid, it gets dirty and starts wearing out your transmission. So these things are so important. I know it's not cheap, but if you want to keep your vehicle running for a long time and you don't want to have to replace a transmission or any of that, replace the engines, these are things of maintenance that are so important to do. I just changed all the fluids in my car and changed the spark plugs, because I'm at 120,000 miles. Now, when it reaches 180, I will go through and do that again. When you do the transmission fluid, don't have them flush it, because you don't want metal filings to go through your transmission. You just want them to drain it and put in new. And the other thing, especially this vehicle, the Prius V, the 2012, the earlier ones, at a little over 100,000, 115,000, they start burning oil, because it starts building up carbon deposits in the pistons. And so I just changed over. I'm going to be using the Valvoline that cleans the pistons, and there was a study, this guy that really does all these crazy studies, that found out it actually does clean the pistons. So I'm changing over to the Valvoline. When I go to get all my engine oil changes next time, I'm taking in my own oil and telling them to use that. Because I don't want to be burning a lot of oil, okay? So I really wanted to put that out, but I know a lot of people don't think about the octane level of their gas. And again, it's important a little more at the pump, but it's going to save you in the long term to not have to replace an engine, have it break down, and having major mechanical issues. Okay? Now I have to replace these things pretty often because when I go, I go. You know? In 1 year, I put over 20,000 miles on the car. So I do a lot of driving extreme, you know. So if you are somebody that goes and puts on a lot of miles, these are really important things. I mean, even if you're a slow traveler and you stay, you know, a week at some place or 2 weeks, whatever, you still want to keep up the maintenance on your vehicle if you're doing car life or van life, etc. And also change your oil, even if you're using the synthetic, change it every 5,000 miles at least. Don't wait for 10,000 miles because, again, that's going to break down your engine. So how do I know it? Toyota engines are really reliable. And there was this guy, he did all the regular maintenance on it, but the one thing he didn't do was change the oil every 5,000 miles. And he had to have his engine rebuilt. But all the other maintenance he had done on his vehicle. So important when your oil is getting dirty, change it. Okay? And you'll have a vehicle that will run for a very, very long time. He said, I love my little vehicle, the Cosmic Gypsy, and I want to be able to have it on the road. You know, I'd like to have 500,000 miles on this thing. I don't know if I'll live that long to do that, but I would like to do that. Okay. I would like to be able to go 500,000 miles on this puppy. But we'll see. You know, we'll see. But that's one thing I'm really, really suggesting for people, because I can't tell you what to do with your setup. But if you love your vehicle, make sure you do the maintenance on it. Okay? If you're driving a vehicle that's got a timing chain or timing belt or whatever, make sure you get that checked as well. Because if that goes out, it'll ruin your whole engine. Okay? So make sure your belts are good, your fluids are good, not just topped up, but, you know, when it comes time, you also have to go and have them changed on occasion. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there because I know so many people just don't know the ins and outs of how to keep a vehicle running in perfect condition. Now I saw this woman, older woman, she has I'm trying to think what kind of a car it was. I can't remember. But she always bought these things. She was really smart. I mean, she's had her car for like something like 50 years. And she was like in her 70s, 80s, something like that. And she's had this car her whole lifetime. And she kept a book. She's got a huge book of things when she bought things. This was back in the day when they gave you lifetime warranties for things. And she always used those lifetime warranties, and she kept her vehicle in perfect running conditions and still has it like new. And she's had it for like 50 years. I forget how many miles she had on it, but it was amazing. She brings that car in, and like I said, she's got a whole book of things when she bought them that they will replace it for free or whatever. And very smart. That vehicle is fabulous. I would love to have that vehicle, because it's still, it's still like new. She's really babied it her whole life. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. I'm going to look and see if I can find that video again. But yeah, she has this huge book. And every time she bought something, she bought ones that had really long extended warranties and stuff. And so she really was very smart in how to keep up her vehicle. So anyway, on that note, I'll leave that here, but I just thought it would be good to put that out there when I was just getting gas and I saw regular was 85 octane. And so I had to buy the plus. So I think that's the lowest I've seen, 85 for regular. Yeah. So hopefully this has helped somebody out there, because especially if you're doing car life or van life, you don't want to have major breakdowns. That's for sure. Now, I did have one thing. When I bought this car, they had a thing to replace the braking system component. And the guy had never done that. And so the warranty factor for it ran out. And I had to pay $3,000 to have that replaced. I still say it was worth it, because I got this car, and this is when, a year or 2 years ago, when prices of cars are really skyrocketing, and it was $16,000 I paid for the car. It had 60,000 miles on it, which is nothing for one of these. But it did have that braking system component that I did have to replace. And once that was replaced, it's been fabulous. And I wish they still made these. Now, they still do make these, but in other countries. They don't have them in this country. But I saw that, I think they still do in other countries. But if you want to do car life and you want a car that's really reliable, as long as you take care of the maintenance, and you want good gas mileage, and running the climate control all night, I can set it in here to 72, 74 degrees all night. I don't have to take a ton of sleeping bags and heavy blankets and stuff. And it uses less than a gallon of gas for all night to run that. It's totally safe. got 35.2 miles per gallon, even with running the climate control all night. Now, if you want a car that's larger, a Sienna is great, a hybrid, but again, you're going to get less gas mileage with it, okay? But if you want more room than what, because this is like a, people ask me if it's a van, if it's a, no. It's a little larger than the regular Prius. It's larger enough that I have room to put a toilet in here, okay? And I can sit here, I've got room to sit. I have my bed, I have all my cooking things inside. You get a little less gas mileage though than you do with a regular Prius, but you got that extra room. So again, it just depends on how much you're willing to spend for gas and how much room you need to have in your space that's comfortable for you. Now, like I said, I'm short. I'm 5'1", maybe now. I was 5'2", but you know, as you get older, you start shrinking. I think I'm about 5 foot or 5'1" now, and I can run my bed across this way rather than lengthwise, and so I have plenty of room in here, and my bed folds up. So if I'm cooking, I just take my folded up bed, lean it up against the window, and I've got a lot of extra room as well. And I'm traveling with 2 puppies. Now they're smaller dogs, admittedly. Okay. They're not a big dog like a German Shepherd or an Australian, you know. They're smaller. And so for myself and my 2 puppies, this works out perfectly. Okay. I have enough headroom when I'm sitting that I'm not leaning down or anything. Now, if you're taller, again, you may want to go with something like a Sienna or something that's, you know, tall. The Honda Element is good, but they don't have hybrid, so, you know, the hybrid is great. And that's the reason I bought this, because I wanted the climate control. Okay. And I wanted to be able to cook inside. I didn't want to have to be cooking out in the elements. So those were my priorities. And having a toilet. I want a toilet. So this worked out perfectly for me. And you can still find some Prius V's being sold. Just if you go to look at it, look at the oil. Okay? That's a major thing. You go to look at a used car, look at the oil. See if the oil is coal black, that means they're not taking care of it. Okay? If you can get their maintenance things, that's great. You want to see that the vehicle, the major thing with vehicles is make sure they've done their oil changes regularly, etc. Okay. And if it's 60,000 miles or over, you're going to want to change all the fluids. So that's it. On that note, I'll just leave that here. I don't want to talk your ear off forever, but I just wanted to put those things out there because I know so many people are going into car life And maybe there's some women out there that were married, their husband took care of the car, now they're in car life and they've never had to do it themselves. And so they just don't know the ins and outs of these things that can be so important. So I just wanted to put that out there today. I thought, oh, maybe this is a good thing to kind of talk about. So on that note, I'll leave that here and we'll see you online.